All of us have something to give. All of us have something to share. Matthew Hobbs, come up, please. I saw this young man. And when I met him, have you ever met somebody and you saw something special in them? Raise your hands, please, okay? I saw something in him. Tell them how we met, Matthew.
Well, we met at my company's convention. Now, I'll have to give you a little background about myself. I'm 20 years old. I've lived most of my life as someone who has felt very trapped and alone at times, very different, just very secluded from everyone. Has anybody ever felt like that? I was looking for something most of my life, and high school is not an easy thing. It's ridiculous. You have to admit it. I mean, you're in this false society where, like, you care about things that don't matter, and I just didn't feel alive at all. And the only time I felt alive was when I was speaking at church. I would get up and bear my testimony at church, and I felt alive, and those were the only times I felt alive. And each time I bore my testimony or spoke, after I was like, wow, I feel like me, you know? I feel like a person. I feel like I have a voice. But I never pursued it. I never pursued it. I don't know why. I can't tell you why. I was at my company's convention, and this was just last summer. And Les Brown gave a speech, and let me tell you, it was an amazing speech. He's a hard act to follow. He gave a speech that really, really hit home, and it awakened something. And I felt something inside me, and I was like, no, you don't exist. Go back down there. Just go back down there, right? Because I didn't want my dream to come up, because I didn't think I was worth it. But something told me to go and seek out this man, and because he was selling his program, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go get the program signed at least. Least I can do is that is buy some CDs. My dreams are worth that, 90 bucks. And so I went and got my CD, and I was standing in line, just waiting in line, and I saw him talking to everyone, and everyone was his best friend. I was like, wow, man, why can't I be his best friend? He knows everybody, like he's hugging everyone, like, ah. So when I got up to him, what I said was this. I said, sir, what would you tell, and I stuttered, obviously, but I was like, sir, what would you tell to a future motivational speaker? I was like, don't hit me. And what he said was, I would tell them to be mentored by me. And he pulled out a piece of paper, he wrote down 9 digits, and he looked me in the eye and said, this is my personal number, don't give it to anybody. You have a gift, and I'd be honored to mentor you. And I can't tell you the energy I felt. I felt just like I did after I spoke with people and spoke my heart to people. I felt alive. And I was walking around, just buzzing around all day, just couldn't sleep that night. And, I was just happy to be alive. And so over the next couple months, I was trying to get a hold of Les, a busy guy, obviously. And I finally got a hold of him. And his assignment for me was to pay $1,500 to come to his Power Voice seminar. And I was like, $1,500? Sir, I don't have a job. My mom is in a very bad health condition. My dad hasn't had work for 5 or 6 months. And I was just, expecting my mother on the other end to be like, oh, it's okay, honey, But, you know what he said to me? He said, are you going to let that stop you? And I said, no. So he's the kind of mentor that will get me there. And so I had a hunch that if I just could get that $1,500 and fly down to LA, then I would be rewarded. Something would reward me, and I felt that in my heart. And people were saying, $1,500? Like, you don't have that. But I found a way. I found 2 credit cards. I put the charge on 2 credit cards, and I managed to get out to Les Brown's seminar. And then when I was in that seminar, I was in a room full of people who cared, just like here. Everybody cares here, and you can see it in their eyes, And I'm not afraid to talk in front of you people. You know why? I'd be afraid to talk in front of like 5 negative people because, I know what they're thinking. I know the energy they're giving me with their eyes. But you guys care. And I can thank you from the bottom of my heart for caring. And so basically, Les Brown rewarded me for coming to that seminar. He let me come up and speak in front of everyone. He said, Matthew, I would love to mentor you. I would love to, for you to come to my seminars for the rest of your life for free. I would love you to be a part of my Platinum Speaker program. You know, I would be honored to mentor you. And I was like, whoa. Like, everybody repeat after me, show up. Show up. I showed up. I showed up. And I am worth showing up for. Can all the teens in the room please stand up? See, that's what these people think about you. You have support from these people. Now, you have a chance to take advantage of your youth. You guys are the future. We are the future. Now, I have people coming up to me that are 40 years old, and they come up to me and they look at me with pain in their eyes and they say, you know what, you're just so lucky. I wish I would have started at your age, you know. I just wish I would have taken advantage at your age. And, you know, here's your chance, guys. Take advantage. If you have dreams, then follow them, you know. There are people here that will help you get there. And for every kid in this room, I hope there's at least 5 people that go home with, numbers, mentors. They need your help because they are the future. We are all the future. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart just for being there for me and for all of us youth here. Thank you.
Give Matthew another round of applause. It is the transformation. You have a voice in you. You have a power voice. And Stacy, can you believe this? Can you see the growth since the last one? Can you see? Some of you were there. You see this Matthew here? Versus the last guy, and every other word was it is you have no idea. But he had to, I mean, how he handled that, I said, you go, Matthew. And his look in his eyes when he looks at me, I'm going to take you out, old man. As he will, but it's going to take a minute. I always tell these young speakers, a young broom sweep clean, but an old broom nowhere to go. And so what Matthew is saying is that we've got to be willing to confront ourselves. We've got to be willing to listen to that voice, that other part of us that's back there.